next Luke Brown. And Luke, I don't want to take your time, so I'm just going to, but I want to make sure to call out to people that Luke is an educator. He's been where we've all been before, in the classroom. He's been in the administrative desk, and he understands where we're coming from. He also is an entrepreneur himself. You know, he's out doing this thing, and he's going to talk to you about it here right now. So, Luke, with no further ado, it is up to you, my friend.
Well, thank you very much. Like he said, I am a former educator. I have turned to do a financial planner. So just admiring what you guys are doing. I know how difficult it is to transition from the field of education. I spent 22 years in education, 10 as a high school principal. I endured a school shooting in 2014. So for anyone in leadership or at a school who has dealt with anything like that, I've dealt with such a thing. And then unfortunately, also had to deal with a student suicide in 2021 that occurred on campus. Led the school of 2,100 and 300 staff through a pandemic, and it took its toll on me, all of those things combined. And so looking at not wanting to be a district administrator and knowing that the pace of a high school principal was what it was, I decided at the age of 45, after 22 years, to make a change. And so that's put me where I am now. Like Chase said, I do have a heart for educators. I'm a family man. I'm a father of two. I have a 16-year-old and a 12-year-old. I just got a notification on my phone that my 16-year-old made it home from school. So I'm living that world every time he backs out of the driveway. He's been driving for about a month. So for all of you guys who have teenage kids, I'm right there with you. I've been married for 21 years to my lovely bride, who is actually on her first day of a new job as a labor and delivery nurse here in the town where we live. So we're all doing different things. One of the things that I wanted to go through with you real quick, and I'm not going to take a ton of your time, but was to talk a little bit about 5 mistakes that small business owners tend to make. And the first one is that they dive in without a financial plan. I hope that the things that I go through with you today seem remedial. If they are, then you're probably in decent shape and you've been thinking about these things. But if you go into starting your own business without a financial plan, you risk quite a bit. Going in with a financial plan will give you the reference on what kind of financial priorities you need and will prevent bankruptcy during the early stages of your business. So it's very, very important that you have a financial plan. One of the other mistakes that people starting businesses make is not separating their business and personal finances. And business is a big aspect of what you're doing right now, especially if you're fairly new to the game, but it's not the only part. So it's a good idea to make sure that you keep your business finances and your personal finances separate. Always keep them in separate banking accounts. Keep all your finances in one place. That will lead to cash flow issues. It will make tax issues, complications, and computation of taxes much more difficult for you or the CPA that you work with. And it makes expense tracking unnecessarily difficult as well. Failing to stay frugal while also being willing to invest yourself. And that's a tricky and slippery slope. Formulating a realistic budget, sticking to it, staying frugal are the best ways to keep your business afloat. Put your capital only on essential things. If you need a new piece of furniture, is there an alternate way to pull it off without going out and buying brand new? Maybe someone in your family has something that they're not using. Those are things to consider, getting secondhand. At least make big purchases with a plan. This will keep you from making financial mistakes that get you behind the 8 ball. That being said, always be willing to invest in the things that you see as core values and beliefs in your business. That is the only way that you are going to be able to grow your business. A lot of people neglect getting business insurance. And if you're thinking of running a business, you need to think of it the same way you think of it when you drive a car. It's an emergency fund, if you will, if something goes wrong. And there are several different ways that you can insure your business. And that's something that if you're interested in talking about later, personal one-on-one with me, you're more than welcome to. And then not taking care of your personal finances and your own retirement. It kind of goes back to not separating your business and your personal finances. But again, a lot of people who are starting new businesses start out by spending all of their time thinking about the business and the business finances, and then realize down the road that they've not done what they need to do for retirement. I want to switch gears real quick and talk about retirement. Do you know when you'll be able to retire? Is that something that you have been thinking about as a business owner? When will that day be? 60, 65, 70? And do you think you're going to be able to outlive your savings? Unfortunately and fortunately, that is a real problem in America. We have a better healthcare system than we've ever had. People are living longer than they've ever lived. And so if you answered yes to that, you are not alone. 67% of Americans agree with you. And that's a lot of people who aren't sure whether they'll have enough money to live all the way through retirement. Back in the day, back when I started teaching, maybe back when some of you started teaching, pension plans were in place, and we had plenty of Social Security they were going to be able to fund our retirement. That meant most of the retirement was put on someone. Most of the retirement planning was put on someone else. You just have to worry about that kind of thing. And today, pensions are scarce, even in the education world. I know here in North Carolina, a lot of our new teachers are getting 403Bs. And so planning for your retirement is almost entirely on you. When you're planning for retirement, it's easy to focus on saving as much money as you can, and that's fantastic. Saving is always important. But when you're concentrating on getting to retirement, it's easy to forget you need to get through retirement. That's where someone like me comes in to be able to help you plan on what things look like as you get to that stage of the game. The second thing that you have to think about is that longevity. In the U.S., a man who turns 65 today has a 50% chance of living beyond the age of 88. A woman who turns 65 today has a 50% chance of living beyond 90. And if you're married, there's a 50% chance that your spouse will live past 94. That's a long retirement, which is in a lot of ways great news. But we want to enjoy it as long as possible. We also want to make sure that it's always going to be there. So how do you do that to make sure that you have a retirement plan that goes the distance for you? There are tools that are available that can help you manage that risk. And we would love to be able to help you with that if you are so inclined. Once you've retired, we switch from accumulating funds to distributing funds. And so we have to start thinking differently about what we do with our money. While you're working, you're accumulating all of that retirement fund. Your goal is to build up as much as humanly possible so that you can live how you want to in retirement. But when things change and you're no longer focused on saving, you switch from accumulating your funds to distributing them. And that may not sound like would be very hard, but for a lot of people it is. And so you want to make sure that you have enough there to outlast. What we do here and what we do for small businesses and those who are working from education into the private sector is that we do planning for them that phases from the retirement. We talk about the key retirement risk, and then we strategize for you to create how the sound income planning can be. In your accumulation phase, one of the things that changes in time frame is the length of time that you will be invested in the money. And one of the things that I'd like to show you is the key risk that you will run into. These are things that keep me up at night as a financial advisor. And there are things that keep other people up at night as well. I'm sure you've thought about these things. Market volatility. Right now, the market is all over the place. As you get older, that is a much larger deal. And so that's something that as a financial advisor, we help you with. We think about that longevity piece. Are you going to live past it? The inflation and taxes that come along with it. Taxes in a small business owner's world are a huge problem. And so that's something that someone like myself can help you work through. Healthcare cost. If you grow your business to a certain position where you have to provide health care for those who work with you. I'm working with a company right now who they've grown in the ed tech world from about 3 years ago. We have over 150 employees now, and they think there'll be over 300 by the end of 2024. And so that's a great problem to have. But now they're having to think about those healthcare costs and what that looks like for them. You have to think about long-term care as the owner of your business. Are you in a position to where once you are older, if you are needing long-term care, do you have the things in place that you need? And then what kind of legacy are you going to leave your family, leave your kids one day? Is that something that would keep you up at night? This will kind of show you what timing looks like. If you take two people, Jack started investing at 21, he invests $200 a month. He stopped contributing the money at age 30, and he's accumulated a total of $21,600. Blake starts at 30, he invests at $2,400 a month, same, or $2,400 a year, $200 a month, same. Contributes money until he's 67, so a total of 37 years. So one of them 9 years, one of them 37 years, and look at the difference. The total amount that he contributed was $91,200. But look who's on top of the game there, just starting 9 years earlier. That's the power of that compound interest and making sure that you get started as soon as humanly possible. If you don't have something already in place, make sure that you speak to someone like me who can get you cranking on that. So with everything we've talked about, you can see why retirement planning and income planning can be boiled down to a single number and why it can't be solved with a single product or savings vehicle. You need to be thinking about those things, and we would love to help you here. Create a budget, determine your essentials and your discretionary expenses, both for your business and your household. Manage the essential expenses and fixed income sources. Make sure that you know that you're going to get Social Security, although who knows how much you're going to get. Some of you may still have pensions from school systems. There are things like annuities, Roth IRAs, and other resources that you can use to help you in that retirement planning. Social Security, like I mentioned, pension, annuity, and individual IRAs, personal savings, and then also your business assets. What is that going to look like for you? What is your business going to be valued at? And how can you use that to your advantage? This kind of shows you a little bit about what we do and how we do it. You take your pre-retirement income planning, and it's going to go into one of 5 different buckets. You also have your Social Security and pension and any income annuities. And all of that goes into a cash reserve that helps you for the distribution phase when you get there and provides retirement income. That life insurance piece, we didn't really say much about that today, but also that helps provide your family with legacy in your untimely death, or it's something we all have in common. Your you're not going to be here at some point in time. What are you leaving your family as a part of that? So wanted to stick to my 15 minutes. I've tried very hard to do that, so I've gone pretty fast. I'd love to be able to help you guys out. We work with a lot of small businesses, and I work on a team of 6 that work with people who have started small businesses. I myself work a lot with educators on their pensions. I've become a pension specialist. And so if you have people that you are hiring that are coming out of the world of education, I can kind of let them know what that pension is going to look like for them, and would be pleased to help you there. My email address, why there's a Y in there, I have no clue. I don't have a Y in my name, but that is it, luke.y.brown@nm.com. And then my cell phone number, 704-223-8386. If you'll take that down, if you're interested in speaking with me further about building you a personal plan or your business a plan, I would be more than happy to do just that. Chase, I'll turn it back over to you.
Luke, thank you so much. And I will echo his sentiments specifically around the small business owners needing business insurance. That was a big conversation I had with someone who's likely going to be a member of our group starting next month. And we did our intro meeting. She didn't have anything. And that was one of the first things I said, you need business insurance. So Luke is your go-to guy. Luke, if you wouldn't mind, throw your contact info again, just one more time in the chat so that people have it. And